Hey, Steve, thanks for doing this interview with me, my friend. Straight out, I love your voice. It is so cool, and it's perfect for what you're doing, man. Bringing back the old school kind of funk groove sound kind of thing, man. I'm so happy that you guys are part of Chevrolet Indie Fridays. How does it feel being part of this type of showcase, man? Because honestly, it's been bringing huge crowds to Young Dundas Square all summer long.
Well, we love it. I mean, I think we've done Young and Dundas Square once before, and it was like I've grown up in Toronto. I've been in Toronto my whole life. So to be downtown, like right by the Eden Center, and having people pack in and listen to like local amazing music is great. Plus, Afterfunk, who we're playing with, you know, are buddies of ours that we sort of grew up in the scene playing with. So it's cool to kind of come together after they've been on some extensive touring, and we've got a bunch of stuff we've been doing, and we're sort of getting together, and I don't know, it feels like a good way to send out the summer.
It is, man, and especially for an old dude like me, who loves that kind of sound, man. I cannot wait for this. What is it with you know? I talked to Philip from Afterfunk, and you know, when I look at him and I look at you and I look at all you guys, and to me, you're young guys, man. What is it about that sound that resonates even for you guys, man?
Well, I don't know if it's man, it's funny to think that it's so strange to like funk, because for me it was the kind of thing. I was a rock musician growing up. Like when I was a teenager, it was like all rock, and then my dad was sort of a jazz player, so I always had the sort of horns in the background, and I sort of heard that sound, and I didn't connect immediately with sort of the old school funk, not immediately, but like. I think through groups like Jamiroquai and different things like that, it started to push me towards it. And then I started walking backwards towards Power and towards Earth, Wind & Fire and all those groups. And I don't know, it just became something where I just love the idea that people can dance at your show and people can get down, and I love a really good bass line. Like, I think
there you go. Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. For funk, I agree with you, man. It's got to be the bass line. And if somebody's playing bass, I don't want one of them little bass guitars. I want one of them big, massive ones with a long neck.
For sure, man. Well, I got a good bass player, so I'm lucky.
So when did you decide, man, that this was going to be something that you were going to follow through in creating the Live Revolution?
Geez, I don't know. I mean, the band is actually, I think we're a little older than Afterfunk, and we have about 5 or 6 records. And I just remember that there was a year that I tried to sort of get a little more into the industry as just a guitar player. Mm-hmm. And I was playing, you know, some Canadian Idol stuff. Like I was playing for one of the guys who won that, and I was doing all this stuff, trying to get into the industry. And I did it for a year, and I just found it so exhausting. And I think by the end, and then I got a chance to go to Africa, and then I came back, and I just said, you know what, I need to write music. I need to have a band. I need to do this. And I just went hard and made our first record. And all of these awesome musicians just sort of came around me. And I think that's been the thing. I think that's the reason I make Funk with such a big band, is because in Toronto there's so many amazing musicians, so many amazing horn players, drummers, bass players, and I've just happened to bump into some of them, and it inspires me to write really ambitious music and stuff that's, you know, a little more epic than, say, like a 4-piece or a 3-piece.
I'm looking out at the city lights, and it feels like I'm free to push on tonight. I'm just so glad that you came with me, and I hope we find that love that makes it shine bright.
Parkdale Funk, Volume 1 and Volume 2, man. What was that like for you to be able to make that music and release it?
It was amazing. I mean, the first record, Parkdale Funk 1, was when I just come back from Africa, so that was the starting point, and that one was amazing. But Parkdale Funk 2 was probably the best thing we've ever done. I mean, we took our time with it. It was the first record we ever got to take our time with, and I think it was 3 years. We just like worked on it, picked away at it, came back at it. We had strings, we had MCs from the city. I don't know. We would just we recorded to tape to make it sound old and thicker and warmer. So we just picked away at it, and it's, you know, a double CD. It's the best thing we've ever done. And I think as soon as we did that, I think the sort of soul of the band really came into formation. So yeah, man, I love it, and it's cool to represent Parkdale.
Here, here, my friend. My girlfriend lives up in that area, so yeah, absolutely, man. But something else that you guys did in representing Black Eyed Peas, opened up Molson Amphitheater, of course the Budweiser stage known now. What was that like for you guys to do that?
It was really, really cool. Yeah, I mean, that was one of those things where every time we do something like that, you can feel sort of the crowd grow, and there's like people who sort of pop up and they go, hey, we saw you here, we saw you there. And that was, you know, that was an amazing thing. I remember meeting Talib Kweli, and that was a big thing for me, because he was one of the openers for that. And, you know, I love all those kind of like neo-soul, hip-hop kind of groups that are around all of that, you know?
But you know, when I keep talking about this old school sound, you also have an old school heart too. You guys do a lot of charity stuff too. You guys give back in a lot of ways through your music too.
We have. I mean, you know, we could always do more.
It never hurts, man. Why is it important for you guys to give back in so many different ways too?
Well, I mean, I think the things that I remember having done is I remember we did something for Park, which is
yes.
one of the places in Parkdale that sort of, you know, really helps the people in the community who are homeless and people who have some issues, and, you know, like they give them food and internet, and it's like a community center where people come, and I know that they have music programs there and stuff like that. So they're really cool. And I remember we did something for them, which I was happy to do. You know, I mean, I think it's just, you know, I mean, the reason I got into music was to not just make myself happy, but try to make other people happy. And I think that it's one of those things that if we can just play for people and contribute our music towards different causes and different ideas, I think that it can help inspire other people and make other people's days better. I think it's as simple as that, you know?
Absolutely is. What's the latest music out right now for you guys?
Well, we right now we're working on a new record, so I'm writing all kinds of new stuff. But we released a couple videos this year that were sort of our strange and interesting covers of. We did Bob Dylan's "Times They Are Changing," and we did "Rock and Roll" by Led Zeppelin, and we just funked them up and made them completely new songs almost. You know?
Wow!
And,
wow!
What was the other one? Arcade Fire's. What is it called? I can't remember it. But anyway, we've got three of those out, and that was a really fun thing to do because I love that kind of idea. I did that a long time with with Nirvana, and we just took all these Nirvana songs because that's some of the stuff that I grew up listening to, and we just turned it into like funk and house and like all this kind of stuff, which, you know, most people would be like, you can't do that, but it's like, it's fun.
You know what? You can do. Yeah, you can do anything you want, man. Like you said, as long as it's fun and it's good. And what you guys are doing is definitely good. What about when do you think we're going to get new music from you?
Well, we're right now. I mean, there's a bunch of new stuff that we're working on. Like we've got a new record in the works, and it's hard to say right now when it's going to come out. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to. Like, there's so much material coming out. There's stuff that's definitely, like, I want to make a record that is very concise, and we're working on that with just, like, you know, every song is just a banger. But in the meantime, there's also songs coming out of us in rehearsals and jams that are super funky, some of them longer, some of them more instrumental. And so I think with those, we're going to start releasing videos. To get those out, and then I think, but we're going to keep working on this record, which we're hoping will be something more of a conduit for us getting out of town and getting more to Europe and places like that.
Cool. What are we going to be hearing, man, at when you guys are performing at Yonge Dundas Square? Is it going to be a mix of all the old stuff and maybe some new stuff?
Definitely, and yeah, we're going to have a couple awesome additions. A female singer that I love working with, Dionne Wilson, who's a fantastic talent, like gospel singer, and she's going to be helping me sound better. And we're going to have, I think it's going to be like, I think we have about a 10-piece band, and we have an extra trumpet player going on. Wow. So it's going to be big and funky, and We're gonna have fun. So
all right, man.
Come.
Okay, I'm getting out my Parliament Funkadelic shirt. I'm throwing that on. I'm using that to introduce you guys. I cannot wait for this, man. Look, for folks who want to follow you guys social media-wise, where do we go?
Well, our website is KCRoberts.ca, and our Instagram is KCLR_official.
Fantastic. Look, thank you so much for doing the interview, man. Thanks for what you guys are doing, helping keep the funk alive. Because, like I said, for an old school guy like myself, it is so important, and it's so great to hear young dudes like yourselves doing this and doing this with finesse. That's what I love the most, man. And looking forward to introducing you guys. And like I said, man, cannot wait to just funk it out with you guys. Thanks again, man. Take care, and I'll see you on Friday.
You too, man. Cheers.
Bye-bye.